Hello, everyone. Welcome back once again. I am Nicodemus Kane. Today is a Monday. It is March the 14th of 2022. Um, I was going to say something. It is Pi Day. You're going to hear that a lot because people are going to say, "Oh, look, it's 314." um, this is another one of those days. Uh, I didn't hear much on 311. I heard some things, but not much. Today is a 314. You're going to hear something, and tomorrow is the Ides of March, where the, what do you want to call it, Council of Julius Caesar decided to stab him literally in the back and kill him and take his reign over. Um, we are told to beware the Ides of March, and I don't know if that has to do with the people on top having to worry about what goes on, or if that has to do with something that we should be watching out for. Because it was told to one of them, but it is something that we constantly repeat. So it's one way or another. It's just something to watch out for. I've always kind of been one of those that is, been wary of March 15th just in case. Even before I understood that dates have meanings. Um, so I would definitely just keep your eyes out. You never know. Again, these people are evil and they are doing evil things every day. And it seems like it gets worse and worse, and all we can really do, if we're not going to fight back on it, then we need to pray to God, pray to our Father that He gets us through it, gives us understanding, and the ability to be able to fight back if we have to. So, speaking of fighting back, today we are going over Psalm 119. This is ZAIN. I think I got that right. ZAYIN. That's how it's pronounced. In King James, it's ZAIN. It looks like ZAIN, but it's ZAIN. This Hebrew for Christians, though, says ZAYIN. I don't know why they're one way or another, but I will put both of them in the title. That way people can understand what it is. But this says it is double meaning. The gematria of ZAIN is 67, which is the same as value for Banah, meaning understanding. But at the same time, ZAIN is a paradoxical word since it means weapon or sword, but it derives from a word that means sustenance or nourishment. It is a sword or weapon of understanding or nourishment. We know that understanding, nourishment, wisdom, can come in that form. That we are nourished with the Word of God. We have that understanding that we can use to fulfill us upon our journey. And at the same time, the sword, that is part of the 6 pieces of the armor of God, is a sword of the Spirit. The Spirit being truth, the truth being understanding, understanding being nourishment. This is the 7th letter of the alphabet. This is the 7th day. This is what else did they say it was? The 7th day, they're talking about different days of the year, the Shabbat being the 7th day of the 7-day week. The Shavuot being the 49th day, which is 7 times 7 after the Passover. The Tishri, I don't know what that is. The 7th month of the year, the week of months. Oh, okay. Oh. The Shemitah, the 7th year of rest for the land. Oh yeah. Whenever you stop planting, it's the they even knew back then that you can't constantly plant on ground over and over again. You have to give it a rest, or else the soil will not be fertile anymore. The Millennial Kingdom, the 7th millennium, which I still I don't know if it's true or not. You guys can keep that as you will. The time period is weird for me. So if you want to believe that there's 7 millenniums within the time period that we have, that is fine with you. I need actual proof, not just, the time charts of man. I need something more than that. But that's just, that's me. But anyways, but it is the 7. It is the 7th. It's the 7th day. It's the 7, it's the completion. It's the day of rest, the day of rest, the day of learning, the day of understanding, the day of worship for God. It is the sword of understanding. It is, the truth, the wisdom, the nourishment of the wisdom of God. Everything on this one is pointing to stuff that I've been saying for I don't know how long now. Is that the sword of the Spirit is an offensive weapon that we should have been using all this time, but a lot of us aren't. We're just worried about putting on the armor so that nothing gets to us, but none of us are willing to step up and fight back. And that's where we are now. But, a lot of people can debate that, and a lot of people can argue that I am extremely wrong on that, and that is fine. I have always said I have been wrong before, but like I say, if you can point to where I am absolutely wrong, and if I can read it, and if I can get more than 3 different places where it says that, we're not supposed to stand up for the truth of God, that we're not supposed to speak out, that we're just supposed to lay back and take it. If you can point that out to me, feel free. And then I need to go pray, because let all men be liars and let God be truth. So you have to pass several tests before you can, even remotely get me to think anything. But I have to understand it first. You have to really, really point it out to me. I am more than willing to say that I am wrong and that I can change my understanding of what I'm reading, but I need proof. So anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. We read through this, and as we read it, keep in mind what the word means, the nourishment of wisdom, the understanding, the sword of understanding. Psalm 119, ZAIN. Remember the word unto thy servant, upon which thou hast caused me to hope. This is my comfort in my affliction, for thy word hath quickened me. The proud have had me greatly in derision, yet have I not declined from thy law. I remembered thy judgments of old, O Lord, and have comforted myself. Horror hath taken... Let me try that one again, sorry. Horror hath taken hold upon me because of the wicked that forsake thy law. I did it again. Thy statutes have been my songs in the house of my pilgrimage. I have remembered thy name, O Lord, in the nights, and have kept thy law. This I had, because I kept thy precepts. I am all over it today. It's still sitting at the kitchen table, or the dining room table, by the way. Um, I did not move back downstairs. It is not completely dry yet. It is still wet. Um, but it is drying out. I moved a lot of the furniture over and was able to start drying out the other side of the room because I hadn't really hit it as much as I did the one side. And I came back down a couple days ago and I was like, that's still wet. But I'll tell you what, it does not smell moldy down there. That means that the baking soda is working. So thank you very much for that. No, it doesn't smell. It doesn't smell bad at all. It smells okay, really. My wife said she smelled something, so I went down with the mold remover spray that we have and sprayed a lot. And we're talking about ripping out the carpet um, sometime soon, and we're gonna be doing a lot to try to make sure we don't ever have this happen again. I just I've already told her that I'm a little bit over it. It's just, it has caused me a lot of headache. And it seems like every house we've had for the past 10 years has been like this, you know. But this is our house now. So we have to do something because I like this house. I love this house. I want this house to work, but it just seems like we bought into something that we didn't really understand, but we have to fix it. All right, let's go back through this. You can kind of hear how how it is having that understanding. Like I said, the understanding, the word, the nourishment. You can hear it as you speak through it, and all of the previous letters that we've gone through have the 8 verses have had something to do with the meaning of the letter, and this one has that as well. You can hear it. You can put it into that kind of context and understand. So if we start back at the top, remember the word unto thy servant, upon which thou hast caused me to hope. The word, which is nourishment. Understanding. This is my comfort in my affliction, for thy word hath quickened me. You hear it again. The proud have had me greatly in derision, yet have I not declined from thy law. The proud have had me greatly in derision. The proud, the prideful, vanity, vain. I looked up birthdays again because I said something about it before. Saturday was my birthday. I tried my absolute best to get people to stop telling me. I was like, thank you for telling me, but I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't, it's not something I do anymore. I don't celebrate it anymore because I get it now. Birthdays are vanity. It's just part of the whole thing, and but I'll definitely try to make sure I read that. I it's kind of hard. Now this is crazy. This sounds crazy, but it is kind of hard to find an actual PDF of the Satanic Bible. They really want you to buy that book, uh, but it was really hard because I needed to find an actual proof that the Satanic Bible says that their most prized holiday is their birthdays because you are your own god. So your best day, your best holiday, is the day you were born. So you should celebrate it as much as possible. and you should be, it's all about you. You should be greedy, and you should, go buy yourself something, and you should go do this and go do that. I mean, it literally says this in the book. And I was trying so hard. I finally found one, and I remember that book. We read that book when we were teenagers. That tells you how far I've come, because we bought that in like a Walden book, and my friend did. I don't know if he still has it or not, but he bought it, but I read it, and it was probably a lot of it at the time I didn't understand, but unfortunately, the other parts of it probably warped my mind, taught me all the bad things, But that was just one that they were talking about holidays. Of course, they said the second one you should be celebrating is Halloween, and then there was a third one. I don't remember what the hell it was. But then there was one they were talking about that was the first day of May, which is May Day, which is May the 5th. It's a 501. And there's a lot of people that say, you shouldn't be going out and reading that stuff. You shouldn't be worried about what the enemy is doing. You should be focused on God. And you're absolutely right. I am focused on God 100%. And God has shown me that the enemy, the evil, the peoples of this world, the spiritual powers of this world use numbers. And you literally have the satanic Bible saying one of their holidays falls right upon the first day of May, which is a 5-1, which is a 501. And I have said many, many times that you see that in media, in movies, in 501 genes, for crying out loud. You see these things out there, and the number is repeated so many times in man-made places. It is repeated so many times that it has to mean something. And it does. And I've tried so hard to talk about this stuff, and nobody wants to listen because numbers don't mean anything. No, numbers don't mean anything. Been in numbers all my life. Numbers don't mean anything. Okay, man. Whatever. You can be ignorant about it all you want, but I have the truth on my side, and the truth says that these numbers mean things, and the evil people of this world are using those numbers to manipulate the people that don't know. That's you and me and everybody else. You cannot fight this war unless you know the tricks that they pull on us. That's part of having the sword of understanding, sword of truth, sword of nourishment. That's part of it, is having the understanding. So anyways, the proud have had me greatly in derision, yet have I not declined from thy law. I remember thy judgments of old, O Lord, and have comforted myself. The comfort, the nourishment. Horror hath taken hold upon me because of the wicked that forsake thy law. Thy statutes have been my songs in the house of my pilgrimage. I have remembered thy name, O Lord, in the night, and have kept thy law. This I had because I kept thy precepts. So, there's that. Man, I could go on again about, how much these Psalms talk about the people of this world, the proud, the evil, the ones that will hurt you just because you believe differently than they do, that, it seems to be accumulating. The more and more we go, the Psalms, again, one of the reasons why I started wanting to talk about them this way was because there is so much understanding inside of them, and there's comfort inside of them. There is, it says, even though we are beaten down and they are taking everything away from us and they are hurting us and they are killing us and they are mocking us, they are doing all these things to us. We have hope and understanding and comfort in the Lord, that we have a place to go. His commandments, His law, His love is everlasting, that we will not be forsaken because of what they do to us. And that was why I said I needed to do this, because at the time I started this, which was what, almost a year ago? I don't even remember when the first one of these was. God, I actually have to look it up. Let me see. Go to my channel. I guess it hasn't been that long. I thought it was a year ago. It feels like a year, man. I'll tell you what. No, it's 6 months ago. Wow. Six months ago I started this. I've been talking about the lockdowns for 2 years. Where was the first one I started talking about? When we got sent home. 2 years ago. Wow. The Twilight Zone episodes. Yeah. So yeah, the timeline just seems weird though, man. Let's be fair, everything seems weird anymore. But yeah, I've been doing this for 6 months now. Wow. But when I started it though, I had just got done reading through the Psalms twice, because it was kind of what I was led to do at the time. I needed some kind of support, and I asked God. I said, God, give me something, and He made me open up the Bible, and I opened it up, and I think I either dropped in at like Psalm 80 or 81, somewhere around there, somewhere in the 80s, and I read through from that point to the end of the Psalms, and then I went back to the beginning and started over, and got all the way up to Proverbs, and that was whenever I started thinking, I need to read these online. We need to talk about this, because this could help people. And that was how this whole thing started. And I think that's what we need more than anything else. Is we need to be able to, first of all, have comfort, but then second of all, be able to have that wisdom and understanding of what's going on, and be able to use that, and hopefully use that against the people that are trying their damnedest to kill every single one of us. no matter how much people laugh whenever I say that. Oh, I just thought it was funny. It sounds just like that movie I saw. People are trying to kill us all. Yeah, well, you know what? It's the truth. They're trying to kill us all. They don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about me. They've gotten to the point to where they only need so much of us. They have their families, and they have all the money, they have all the wealth, they have all the power, because you let them have all the power. And now they have it to the point to where they don't even need us to make stuff for them. They really don't. I don't even think there's. Would you say that there might be 1 million of them out there? maybe less. I don't know. We're talking about huge families. Yeah. I don't want to get into that kind of number system. I know they say they only need about 500 million of us. So, you know, which is which is a lot less than, the people that are on the world right now. But yeah, they don't give a damn about you. They really don't. So let's stop talking about that kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let me get back up. Make sure that we're still doing okay. All right. So ZAIN, it looks like a cane, but it's actually a sword. Um, okay. The letter ZAIN is the seventh letter of the alphabet, having the numerical value of 7. Pictograph for ZAIN looks like a sword, whereas the classic Hebrew script is constructed of a vav with a large crown on its head. The crown with the vav. It's a sword. And it gets down towards the bottom and talks about the sword the sword of Christ. How he was our understanding in our sword, how he comes back with a sword in his mouth, which that's the word, that's the spirit, that's the knowledge, wisdom. It's an offensive weapon. The mystery of ZAIN. ZAIN is considered a crowned vav, just as vav represents Yashar. Yashar, okay. Straight line from God to man, so ZAIN represents returning light. Okay. Said to be a woman of valor as a crown of her husband, so ZAIN, the seventh letter, is the crown of vav. Okay, sometimes I don't understand this stuff because I'm not that far into it. I think I definitely will be going further into it. But the gematria of it is 67. It's the numerical 7, but the gematria is 67. It's the same value for Bana, meaning understanding. I talked about this stuff. And then the ZAIN is a paradoxical word since it means weapon or sword, but derives from sustenance and nourishment. And it goes through the word for bread, lechem, is contained in the Hebrew word for war. Milkaham, Kama, I am killing this, and Father, I am sorry. Killing your language. But the sword of war is often needed for our nourishment, not in the sense of vindictive fighting that is based on lust or avarice, but in the spiritual sense that in order to be nourished and at rest, we must sometimes engage in warfare. Now, I am not saying that we need to go take up our guns and go storm the castle and kill the bad guys that are up in the up in the castles and kill our leaders. And I'm not saying that by any means, shape, or form. Even though, as Americans, we have every right to be able to do that. Not to kill them so much, but to be able to take it back whenever. But what I have been saying is that you can use the sword of the Spirit, which comes from your mouth, which comes from Christ's mouth, which is knowledge and understanding. You can use that against your foes. You can speak out. You can tell the truth in all things. You can push back with the word. There are people out there that I know. People call them prayer warriors. People call them what was the name? There was another name for prayer warriors. The ones that they can cut you down just by talking to you because they have that spirit. They have that spirit of words, of knowledge, and they can slice right through you with their words because they know, and it's the truth of God, and they can make you feel terrible. Not just preachers, but um, they can make you feel so bad that you're living the way that you're living because they have that spirit. It will make you want to turn. Um, I can't think of what the name was, but there are people out there that can do that, and a lot of those people just aren't. They're not. It's either they're not doing what they need to be doing, or they have already been shut down to the point to where you can't hear their voices anymore. And if they've been shut down where you can't hear their voices, they'll find ways. They'll find ways. But there are those that just they're not trying. Why are they not trying? If anybody's hearing this and has that ability, why are you not trying? Why are you not pushing? You have that spirit in you. You have that. You have the way. Frank Herbert called it the weirding way. It's the same kind of thing. You have the ability to be able to push back against evil just by using your words. Why aren't you doing it? It's the spirit. It's the sword of the spirit. Why aren't we pushing back? But then, of course, like this, in the spiritual sense, that in order to be nourished and at rest, we must sometimes engage in warfare. In the spiritual sense, this is a spiritual battle. It always has been. This is a spiritual war. We wrestle not with physical beings, but with powers, with entities, with spiritual entities from. Man, why can I not remember that damn line? We wrestle with the spirit, not with the flesh. And we can push back with our words, with the sword of the spirit. It's an offensive weapon. I keep going on and on about it, but I mean it's true. We don't have enough people pushing back. People just want to. They just want to live with it. They just want to deal with it. I'm running out of time. ZAIN 7 and the Sword of Time. Since ZAIN represents both number 7 and a sword, it is not surprising that it is used to divide or cut up time. And then, of course, I talked about the 7th day and the 49th day after Passover. And, all sevens are blessed. That's why, triple sevens are usually considered the luckiest numbers in the world. ZAIN in remembrance. Memory of time is the basis for self-identity and the purpose of God's creation. Okay, I don't know what all that is. I don't really have the time for it either. This whole thing with the oversized letters, that's something interesting. Inside of the actual text, they talk about oversized letters that mean something inside of the scriptures. That's the kind of stuff that I would probably find the most interesting is, if you could read the old Hebrew. Some people can, and I'm sure I could if I just really put my mind to it. Um, but to know that the whole language has these little things like that, these little hidden details, like this is bigger than another thing, or there's a dot here where it's not supposed to be here, or something like that. That's the kind of stuff that, you know, there's something there that we're supposed to find. We're supposed to find it anyways, because uh, again, to hide a thing is the glory of God. To hunt down a thing is the glory of kings. Is we have to find what God has hidden from the people of this world, and we have to find it for ourselves. And when we find it for ourselves, then we can have that. We can use that against the evil of this world. But then at the very end, it's talking about ZAIN is the crowned man equipped with the sword of the Holy Spirit. He is the one that is coming back. He will have a sword of the Spirit, and he will cut down the evil of this world. But there was more to it than all of this. Um, we're not going to get so far into it. I wanted to talk about the birthdays before we stopped, but that was that. I need to keep that out. I was about to put my Bible up. I was like, no, I wanted to keep that out. I gotta start clocking in here in a little bit. I gotta find my actual post. I'll say, just give me a second. I'll find it. There it is. So here, I'll go ahead and let you see it. No. Wait. How do I want to do this? Okay, how about that? Let's try this. Make sure that you can read it. This is the this is the piece of the PDF that I found. So many places you can look it up on. You can Google it, and Google will say, "Oh yes, it does actually say in the Satanic Bible, yada yada yada." And but I had to see it for myself. I had to have a PDF for myself, and I found this. It's like one page out of the book. I think it's 1.5 pages maybe, but it was a page in a book. It was a lot longer than this. I had to cut it up to make it fit. But this is from the Satanic Bible from Mr. Anton LaVey, the most evil. I think it's the second most evil man in the world. The first one was what's his face, Crowley. Um, but the highest of all holidays in the Satanic religion is the date of one's own birth. This is in direct contradiction to the Holy of Holy Days of other religions, which deify a particular god who has been created in an anthropomorphic form of their own image, thereby showing that the ego is not really buried. So, of course, they are constantly using our faith against us, because that's what they do. It's all lies. It's all lies. Just remember this. Don't get too far into it. It's all lies. The Satanist feels, why not really be honest? And if you're going to create a god in your image, why not create that god as yourself? Every man is a god, and if he chooses to recognize himself as one, if he chooses, whatever, garbage. So the Satanist celebrates their own birthday as the most important holiday of the year. After all, aren't you happier with the fact that you were born than you are about the birth of someone you have never even met? You know what? No. No, I am not happier with the fact I have been I've been actually shunning my birthday for a long time now because this world carries just about nothing for me anymore. Or for that matter, aside from religious holidays, why pay higher tribute to the birthday of a president or to a date in history than we do to the day we were brought into this greatest of all worlds? Into this greatest of all worlds? That's how you know it's truly satanic, because they think that this is the greatest of all worlds. For anyone that needs to know, it's not. This is an absolutely fallen world. God created a paradise, and then Satan ruined it. And God tried to start over. He figured he could wash it away, but evil still continued to exist. And that's what God said this time. It's like, when it gets so bad next time, I'm just going to burn it all out. And whoever listens, whoever wants to follow me, I will keep. But everybody else, they don't want to, so they're going to get the lie instead of listening to the truth. Greatest of all worlds. Ugh. Despite the fact that some of us may not have been wanted. Oh my God! Do you hear this? You may not have been wanted. You're garbage, or at least we're not particularly planned. Yeah, because that's what happens whenever you just go out and screw everybody everywhere all the time. We're glad, even if no one else is, that we're here. That's how they do it. We will take every misfit in the book because, you know, it's easier to turn somebody that's broken than it is to try to heal, than it is to try to take somebody that is, healed, that has God behind them. Because God tells you that He knows that you're broken because of this world, and He actually has something that He can use to heal you. What they say is, we know you're broken, and you can come be broken with the rest of us. You can stay broken, but we're just going to give you a whole bunch of stuff to take your mind off of it. God says, I want to heal you. I want to fix you from the bottom up. I don't want you to be broken anymore. I want to help you. That's the difference. You should give yourself a pat on the back. Buy yourself whatever you want. Treat yourself like the king or God that you are. And generally celebrate your birthday with as much pomp and ceremony as possible. After that, after one's own birthday, the two other major satanic holidays are some kind of nonsense and Halloween. Whopper Snatch. Um, which is the one that it said comes on May the 1st. The 1st of May is actually literally what it says. But I'm going to keep talking while I log in because it is time. It is time. But that was what I posted. Yeah, Saturday, because it's true. A lot of people don't like to hear that either. How do you piss people off? What's the easiest way to piss people off? First thing you do is you tell them that Christmas is not real. You tell them that Christmas is evil and they should not celebrate it because it is a pagan ritual, pagan holiday that has nothing to do with being nice to people. It has everything to do with following gods that you're not supposed to follow. That's the first thing. What's the second thing? Tell them that they're not supposed to celebrate their birthdays because Satanists say that that's the most major holiday in the world. That's how you make people mad. That's how you do it. 100%. Um, but I'm trying my best to educate, and people don't want to hear it. And it is what it is. So, anyways, it's all vanity, which we've talked about so many times. That whole thing is about being vain. Or was it? What is this? I gotta do this whole, nonsense secondary token crap. It's ridiculous. But it is the whole, treat yourself like a king, like the king that you are. Be vain. Celebrate with as much as pomp and ceremony as possible. Show how vain, how incredibly vain that you are. Show your vanity. Put your vanity right out in front of everybody. Make people want to celebrate your birthday. Tell people that. Show them how much they'll turn the nose up at it, man. When you really start telling people that everything they do in this world is evil, man, they start getting onto you. They really do. It's part of everything I've said that's in the Psalms is they will hate you just because you are different from them. Because you tell them that that's not the way they should go. And they will despise you for it. They will hate you for it. And I see so many Christians out there that want to just go along with it, and they want to argue with it. Oh, it's okay to do this stuff. God knows our hearts. I've gone through this before too. God knows men's hearts, and He knows that men's hearts are capable of evil. And even worse, they are capable of evil continually. And He knows that men are very easily led astray and will believe the lie far more than they will believe the truth because they are comfortable with the lie. The lie is comfort. The truth is a hard thing. Why is it a hard thing? It's a sword. The truth is a sword. The lie is a pillow. How's that one for you? That's postable right there. I gotta make sure I submitted my time. Yes, I did. All right. I have to make. I don't trust this system at all. I really don't. Our system at work has failed too many times. But yeah, it the truth is a sword, and it hurts, and it cuts deep. The lie is a pillow. It makes you sleep. Makes you sleep in your sins. That's postable. Wow. That's heavy postable, man. Thank you, Father. So anyways, unless I wipe my nose again, sorry. I had a sneezing attack before I got on, so you gotta go with me here for a second. Um, two verses I pulled out of this whole thing. The one I didn't write the verse names down because I didn't have room in the post. I should still have these though. What is this garbage? What is this garbage? What? They updated the iPhones, and everything has changed now. The Safari is literally upside down now. What the hell is this garbage? Why is this like this? Why is this? Can I move this up? Oh, for crying out loud. Anyways, one of them was Romans 12. Romans 12 too, as a matter of fact. Um, Romans 12:2, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed in the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Be not conformed to this world. Do not follow the lies and the evils of this world, because that's all it is. It's just lies and evil. But people do anyways. The second one, which I cannot stand this. Why did they change it? They just change it for the sake of changing it. It was Ecclesiastes. This is garbage. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I don't like why they have to change stuff just for the sake of changing stuff. Ecclesiastes 1:14. Because we know that there is nothing new under the sun. I think it even says that up here. Ecclesiastes 1:9. This is not what I wrote. But the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is nothing new. There is no new thing under the sun. The sun being sun worship. There is no new thing under sun worship. There's nothing new under the sun except for the truth. I did that one the other day. You can quote me on that if you want. But then Ecclesiastes 1:14, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirits. All is vanity. It even says in like the first two lines, the words of the preacher, the son of David, king of Jerusalem, vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? What profit do you have? Because one generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. Because while you're here, you're here. But when you're gone, what does it profit you? What is it for? What does it profit a man? All is vanity. And of course, that's that's what I've been kind of saying. That's where we've been. It's where we've been going with this. Is Google different now too? No, actually, Google's the same, but Safari is way different. I'm sure there's probably a way to fix that. Unbelievable. But yeah, I updated my iPhone, and now it's all wacky ass. That's all I need. Just one more thing to screw with me. They literally turned Safari upside down. Crying out loud, man. Anyways. So, yeah, guys, there you go. I got this, like, hair on my microphone that it's like I can see it moving every time I talk. That's all I had to say. Everything is vanity, and birthdays are the worst. birthdays, birthdays are the worst kind of vanity, and You can celebrate your birthday all you want. I'm not going to say anything about anything. You can do whatever you want, and that's fine and dandy. But we are told to count the years. I will admit that because I saw when you look up Bible verses that have to do with birthdays, you'll see a lot of when you talk about Bible verses and birthdays, or talk about blessing you and blessing your birth and blessing all this and blessing all that. Nothing about there's nothing about celebrating, you know, about being in love with yourself so much that you have to celebrate your birthday. There's nothing in there about that. But there were a couple verses that were talking about numbering your years, about teaching us how to number our years. And that I think is fine. Even in the Bible itself it says, Adam was, such and such years old, Noah was such and such years old. And that sets up a calendar, a dating system that you can have, and that makes sense to a point. I mean that's understanding. That's fine, but we have made birthdays so overblown and egotistical that people just act that way. People just act that way of, oh, it's my birthday, you should give me anything and everything I want. And it's like people just become so over involved in it. And it's just like, man, don't be so vain. That's the only word I have for it. Don't be so vain that you brag about, your day. You want to say that this is your day, and you everything revolves around you. It's like, you know what? It literally says that in the Satanic Handbook, that it's your day. You should do whatever you want because it's for you. Because this is the best world that you're going to exist in. Anyways, I can't go any further into that, man. I gotta go to work. I gotta go to work. I could keep going though. I really could. There's so much in there. Tomorrow, hopefully, I will be coming to you from my basement again, because I will be moving this stuff down tonight, I hope, and hopefully everything will turn out all right. But I don't know why I had to worry about saying that. But whatever. Okay. Anyways, guys, I shall see you all later. God bless everyone. Take care of yourselves. I'm not. I'm not going to tell you that you're evil for wanting to celebrate your birthday. I'm not. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to go to hell for celebrating your birthday. But everything we do in this world for ourselves is vanity. The Bible clearly says that. And we have to understand that all of that is not what God wants for us. He wants us to be better than that. Definitely wants us to be better than that. So we have to at least try to be better than that. Yeah? We have to at least try to be better than all of that garbage. And the first thing we can do is stop celebrating the evil holidays of this world. And all you have to do is open your eyes to it. Start with the big four, add your birthday, and then go from there. I'm just saying. If you don't want to, if you don't want to do that, don't do that. You take that up with the Father yourself. As far as I'm concerned, I don't need all this junk. I really don't. I don't need it all. You know, if my dad wants to send me money that will let me go off and take my wife out to dinner or something, hey, cool. That's great. Um, if anybody wants to send me money to do anything, that's fine. That's great. That's on them. I just don't want to accept it on December 25th, and I don't want to demand it just because I was born. You know, People give gifts all the time. So give a gift. Give a gift. Why does it have to be any set day? Give somebody a gift. Go give the gift of the word today to somebody. You know, give the gift of love, a hug, a kiss, anything. Tell somebody you love them. You know, you can do that. It's fine. I hope it. I hope it helps in some way, shape, or form. So I gotta go though. It is definitely time for me to go to work. You all take care of yourselves. God bless everyone. Um, yeah, like I said, tomorrow we'll be back in the basement. That'll be nice. All right, you guys take care. I love y'all.